A girl from Burlington, Vermont, the same small city known for Bernie Sanders and Ben & Jerry's ice cream, picks up a sport she's never played at age 17. Just 17. Not 7, not 10, 17. 7 years later, she's standing on a podium at the Paris Olympics with a bronze medal around her neck, wearing red lipstick, eating a sandwich, and the entire internet is completely obsessed with her. That's Ilona Maher, Olympic rugby player, nursing school graduate, MBA holder, Dancing with the Stars runner-up, Sports Illustrated swimsuit cover model, the most followed rugby player on Instagram on planet Earth, man or woman. And I'm going to tell you exactly how she got here, because trust me, this story is absolutely insane. Ilona Delsing Rosa Maher was born on August 12, 1996, in Burlington, Vermont. Her full name alone tells you something. Delsing and Rosa come from her European heritage. Her mom, Minica, is Dutch and works as a nurse. Her dad, Michael, is Irish American and played rugby in college at St. Michael's College, right there in Vermont. Ilona grew up in a household where sports were mandatory, and she was good at all of them. Field hockey, basketball, softball. She was competing at a high level in every sport she touched. But rugby? It wasn't even on her radar. It was during the spring of her senior year at Burlington High School that her dad pulled her aside. She was burning out on softball, and he said, "Hey, there's a rugby club at the other high school. My friends coach it. Try it." Ilona described the moment she put on her first rugby kit as her body fitting into the sport like a glove. Here's what she said about why rugby clicked for her, and I'm paraphrasing because it hits different when you hear it. Rugby combined everything I was good at: the physicality of basketball, the vision from field hockey, and it made me feel powerful, not just as an athlete, but as a person. She didn't grow up playing rugby. She discovered it at 17, right before adulthood. That fact alone should give every late bloomer out there chills. After high school, Ilona enrolled at Norwich University in Vermont. She played rugby there for one season before a Quinnipiac University coach named Becky Carlson watched her play and, according to reports, literally said out loud on the sideline, "Who is that kid? She's ridiculous. I'd give my right arm to have her." Ilona transferred to Quinnipiac in 2015, and what followed was straight-up dominance. She played center. She helped the team win 3 back-to-back National Intercollegiate Rugby Association championships. She was named to the All-American team all 3 years, and in 2017, she received the M.A. Sorensen Award, given to the single best collegiate women's rugby player in the entire country. But here's where Ilona's story gets even more wild. While doing all of this on the rugby field, she was also studying nursing. She graduated in 2018 with a bachelor's degree in nursing from Quinnipiac, and she later went back to school and earned a master's degree in business administration from DeVry University. She's not just a rugby player. She's beast, beauty, and brains, which, by the way, is her signature hashtag. We'll come back to that. Ilona made her debut with the USA Rugby national team in 2018 at a sevens tournament in, of all places, Paris, France. And if that's not foreshadowing, I don't know what is. She kept competing on the international circuit for the next 2 years, building her game, waiting for her moment. Then came the 2020 Tokyo Olympics, held in 2021 because of COVID, and everything changed. Not because Team USA won a medal. They didn't. They finished 6th. But Ilona Maher did something no rugby player had ever really done before. She pulled out her phone and started recording everything. She was upfront about her strategy. She said it publicly: grow the sport, grow the platform, make people care about women's rugby sevens by making them care about her first. It was a business move, she admitted, and it worked beyond any reasonable expectation. Her behind-the-scenes TikToks from the Olympic Village went viral. Fans who had never watched a single second of rugby were suddenly glued to her page. By the time she left Tokyo, she had 443,000 Instagram followers and 1.1 million on TikTok. But the Olympic Village content? That was just the warm-up. Before Paris 2024, there's a chapter in Ilona's story that most people skip over. And it's important. In 2023, during a training session against a men's rugby union team, Ilona suffered a devastating injury. She dislocated her tibia and broke her fibula. The prognosis was grim. Doctors expected her to miss the rest of the entire 2023 season. For most athletes, that kind of injury can derail everything, especially with the Paris Olympics just a year away. But her mother, a nurse, remember, immediately flew out to be by her side, and Ilona got to work. Not only did she recover, she came back in time to help Team USA win gold at the 2023 Pan American Games in Santiago, Chile. A gold medal, after a broken leg, 6 months before Paris. That's not just toughness. That's a different gear entirely. Now let's talk about the moments that turned Ilona Maher from an Olympic athlete into a full-blown cultural icon. The BMI clapback. A troll on TikTok commented on one of her posts saying, and I'm quoting, "I bet that person has a 30% BMI." And instead of ignoring it, Ilona Maher went on camera and said, "I think you were trying to roast me, but this is actually a fact. I do have a BMI of 30. Well, 29.3 to be exact. I'm 5'10" and I weigh 200 pounds. 170 pounds of that is lean muscle. My body fat percentage is 15%. I've been considered overweight my whole life, and I just won an Olympic bronze medal." So, mic drop. The cellulite post. In December 2023, she posted a photo of her thigh during a game, cellulite visible, and followed it with a video saying, "I'm a literal Olympian, and that is what my legs look like. I have cellulite everywhere. It's normal. It does not take away from your athletic ability." That video went viral across platforms for weeks. The Love Island Chronicles. She called the Olympic Village the Villa, a nod to the hit show Love Island, and documented her entire romantic journey during the games in a series of TikToks that had tens of millions of people watching a rugby player's dating life like it was Netflix. The croissant video. She bit into a giant croissant on camera. Millions of views. She might be the only athlete who's made eating bread look that iconic. And her hashtag? Hashtag #BeastBeautyBrains became a movement. In early 2025, Ilona signed with the Bristol Bears in England. And one night after a match, she came off the pitch, and standing there to meet her was Malala Yousafzai, the Nobel Peace Prize winner. The most inspirational woman on the planet. Ilona wrote about the moment on Instagram and said something that stopped everyone in their tracks. She wrote, "While we were talking, Malala kept saying how inspirational I am and thanking me for all I've done. And I almost wanted to look behind me and make sure Malala was saying this about me." Let that sink in. That's Ilona Maher. She has 8 million plus followers across social media. She's the most followed rugby player on earth. more than any man, more than any woman. But she's still the girl from Burlington, Vermont, who just wanted to feel powerful. In 2025, Time magazine named her to its Time 100 Creators list. Because she didn't just play rugby, she changed what the conversation around women, sports, and beauty looks like. Here's what Ilona Maher actually did that no spreadsheet or highlight reel can capture. She walked into a sport most Americans had never watched. She picked up a phone and said, "Come with me. I'll show you what this world looks like." She went viral not because she was manufactured for it, but because she was real. Funny, honest, strong, vulnerable, ambitious, and completely unapologetic. She turned down the idea that female athletes need to shrink themselves to be accepted. She rejected the idea that having a powerful body and loving makeup are opposites. She built a following bigger than any rugby player in history, and she used it to lift up the sport, lift up young girls, and lift up an entire national team that had never stood on an Olympic podium. And she did it while finishing runner-up on Dancing with the Stars, eating croissants on TikTok, and reapplying red lipstick after the biggest game of her life. Ilona Maher is 29 years old as of 2026. She's expressed interest in returning to Sevens rugby in the 2026 to 27 season. And something tells me this story is nowhere near its final chapter. If this video inspired you, or if you just didn't know who Ilona Maher was before today, smash that subscribe button, because we cover the stories of athletes and icons that deserve way more attention than they get. Drop a comment below. What was the craziest part of her story for you?